And welcome back to episode 147 of the Hit the Showers podcast, presented to you by the Foolproof Entertainment Network. As always, I am your host, Clifford Jordan Jennings, here with my point man co-host, Malcolm. Already hit the showers, King. He about to have 2 showers in a 2-hour span.
Yeah, when you 4-0, you wanna be clean and everywhere you go and everything that you do, the undefeated team does.
Right?
How we doing, fellas?
We
What
back
up,
for
buddy?
another
Wow.
Yes,
squad
sir.
with us. We got my guy Callie from the block, Q McLeod, CT, less player suck snipe. I don't know what that is.
Whoa.
Shit.
That's an
Players
after party.
suck. All of them. He's pissed off after last week.
I feel a certain way.
He said all players.
Feel it later.
This
The
price
rap
is getting me hot. It's coming off. Fuck
Yeah,
the
we-
nonsense.
Big
And-
Jets. Big Jets.
He said
Well, let's get into it. I actually like the conversation we was having before the show starts, but we gonna get into the recap first. Let's talk about them Jets.
Jets, Jets. It was again.
Right. That's 2 weeks in a row too,
On
Hey.
the block.
and 2 comeback victories.
Hey, I mean, the first one was a lot more. Man, it was like, yo, what the hell? It was like a miracle. But that last one, though, that was just Zach, man. He just carved them up. Like, I'm talking that when I was looking at that joint, I was like, man, here we go. And I was talking shit though too, because I'm in the bar with a bunch of Steelers fans. The whole table was Steelers
Oh, you
fans.
was out there off Broad Street.
I was at Average Joe.
Oh, damn. FBI? Damn, Callie.
And I'm like-
that boy.
And I was, I'm behind enemy line. So I'm like, hey, I'm like, yo, he about to do what he gonna do right now. I'm like, turnover right now, and we going down the score. And then the next thing you know, interception. And I mean, like, Zach was a little rusty, of course, but that last touchdown drive was crazy, man. Like he was orchestrating, man, just straight dimes, man, throwing it on the rope.
He looked good. He looked good on that last drive, because up until then, I was about to clown him and say his best 2 plays of that game were throwaways out of bounds when he broke the 3 tackles to throw it out of pitch it out of bounds, and then the other one was a fumble he picked up and ran to throw. So that was the best 2 plays. I didn't see it out of him all day until that last drive came out.
Yeah, the last 2 drives. Like the fourth quarter, man, he was like 10 for 12. And then, a touchdown and everything else. So it was just, yeah, man. I mean, that's like one of them things, man, being a young team and being able to get a win in Pittsburgh. I mean, at that point, they up by 10, 2 minutes left or whatever it was. It was like fourth quarter, they up by 10. They done played the Renegade song or whatever they call the song. So, that at that point, man, to be a young team and come in there and be able to get that dub in that crowd, it showed a lot of poise, a lot of growth on his behalf, man. I'm just hoping that we could, carry that momentum, man. But I know a lot of people, it changed the narrative on the season so far, just with us being 2-2 in the first 4 games, because literally everyone had us as 0-4.
Well,
except for my guy Q. Q been on it. Q been on it.
Yeah, he did have Jets by 2.
I respect him.
He had Jets by 2.
I knew Q was the only one that was gonna actually ride out with the Jets on them pick'ems, because I forgot to get a chance to check the pick'ems. So I just thought to myself, I'm like, yeah, I know Les definitely picked us to lose by like 17. What was it, 17?
He only picked 6.
Nah,
Only 6. Okay, only 6 this time. Okay.
Yeah, the only 2 that picked Jets though was Q and CT. CT had Jets 14. I don't know what he was on when he threw that out there.
Trubisky got benched. So I was just thinking about Mitchell Trubisky playing bad like he did.
Right.
And he got benched.
That
About
makes sense.
the rookie coming in.
And threw 3 interceptions. Everybody was so
3.
hype about the now it's Kenny Pickett's time, and I'm looking like, for fucking what? For what?
Yeah, he threw those 3 interceptions. I mean, but a lot of people they more hyped about the momentum and
identity.
the energy that he gave them, because you gotta think they was like not doing nothing, and then when he came in, they was next thing you know they up by 10. He ran in 2 touchdowns. things happen.
Touchdown. Yeah.
And then you got to think Mitch Trubisky wasn't pushing the ball down the field like that. So even though he was throwing picks, they still felt like at least he's trying to do something. But the picks he threw outside of, you figured up.
Yeah, some of them
the
could
Hail
be
Mary
completed.
Yeah, because that was on the receivers as well, because they wasn't grabbing them like that. And the Jets, man, the defense, to the safeties, got to tip my hat to them because I was ripping the safeties before that, and they came through.
Yeah, that one to the tight end, I think it was it a tight end or was it a receiver? It was that Hail Mary, though. That was right off his hands into the DB's arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he'd have just secured that was a great play by Pickett. And he was throwing some good balls, don't get me wrong. Ended 76.9% completion. You said what?
Points. 2 fantasy points.
He had 2 fantasy points.
Yeah, his QB rating was like a 28. But Mitch Trubisky was an 8, so I guess that was better than what they already had going on.
Listen. He
Sounds
threw for 84 yards and 1 interception off
Hold
of
on.
53.8.
Trubisky was a 7.5. Don't bump him up.
Oh, my fault, 7.5. They was being nice to him on
Trubisky's done.
I mean, my whole thing was when did he start?
It was never good, bro.
Right. Like everybody had high hopes for him, but
it was one of those things where he was like number 3, number 2 in the draft at some point. And everybody was thinking like Matt Nagy. Oh, Matt Nagy, he just, he wanted him to fit the system. Then, everybody talking about when he was in Buffalo, like, oh, he was behind Josh Allen and, he plays similar to him and blah, blah, blah. Trash.
Yeah, I mean, Trubisky
It was supposed to be Dwayne Haskins' team in Pittsburgh anyway, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
about that. That's true.
Yeah, man.
He was supposed to be the next one up.
Yeah.
He just was so
Gotta go
immature, man. Rest in peace. How the hell you run out of gas? That's a whole nother time. I ain't gonna talk about that. You got
how do you get killed on the highway?
Well, he was intoxicated, they said, when they did the lab results. They said he had been intoxicated.
From practice?
No, this was
down in Miami
late, too. It was late night.
He was in Miami.
Oh, this is late night. I thought they said he was leaving practice or something.
No.
Oh, he's supposed to be meeting up with doing some QB stuff or something like that. We
down there training in Miami. Yeah, they was training in Miami.
Okay.
And they got kicked.
Yeah, man.
What was I about to say though?
Not a damn thing.
Well, here's my thing. Okay, so here's my thing, and I feel bad about putting your quarterback in with him, Callie. But I feel like Kenny and Zach are both in similar positions.
Whoa.
Yeah, I feel like right now they both show signs of promise, but nothing that really solidifies, at least in my opinion, that position for you. Like, just because you did one game-saving drive at the end of the game doesn't make me look at you like that's our guy. Now, I know that is his first game back. He's been out for a while. But the question was, even last year, your decision-making ability. And you had some wild plays out there. Like, it was like, damn, nigga, like, calm down for a second. And I get it. You're nervous. You already haven't been in the league long enough to really get comfortable. And now you're coming back off an injury. Has to be tough. I get it 100%. But if I'm judging your overall as a whole based on other quarterbacks in the league right now, it's a lot of people that got a lot more comfortable a lot faster.
Right.
Do y'all see Zach Wilson and or Kenny Pickett both end up being long-term, like more than 5-year, make it out of their extension quarterbacks?
I guess I'll start it off. I would say it's 2 very different situations coaching-wise, because you got one coaching staff with Kenny Pickett that's, it's Pittsburgh, man. They get one coach like every 30 years or something.
Right.
So, it's really Kenny Pickett really doesn't have a lot more to overcome outside of his own physical elements and attributes. Whereas Zach Wilson still has to overcome a traditionally chaotic organization. But what I will say on that, like if if Zach Wilson can hone what he did in that last fourth quarter and make that more of a consistent gameplay,
right,
he'll be fine. And I think that the coaching staff is going in the right direction. I still believe that, you know, they still growing. You got to think he's starting with a first-year head coach, first-year OC. You know, dude never called plays before this. So it's like they all got to kind of grow together. It's just a matter of, are they going to get the chance to grow together? Because our organization traditionally gets rid of, you know, people. Well, no, I ain't going to say that, because they don't fire coaches every 2 years. Because they gave Todd Bowles like 4 years. They gave Rex Ryan like 6 years. Adam Gase was Adam Gase. Like, he shouldn't have been there to begin with. So I'm gonna say, man, if as long as there's being promise shown, I think that the more Zach plays, the more comfortable he gonna get. Because like if you look at his BYU days, he was injured, came back, and then once he really got in his groove, that's when he really was on his 1-2. Right. And I just think that fourth quarter is just a little glimpse of what he should be.
The only concern I have is the 2 interceptions out the gate.
Oh yeah, that the one that he threw was wild, because it was like a 3rd and 12, and he didn't even have to do that. There was still 2 timeouts left. He could have just either ran the ball, got a couple of yards, punted it, or whatever. He was just too worried about pushing it at that point. That gunslinger mentality is what I worry about as well.
You didn't learn from last year. You know what I mean? Last year you were being questioned on your decision making ability. In the first game back, you start slinging them just like you were last year when they were questioned.
That's that. I think when your arm talent is that crazy, you have, sometimes you just think you could just get a ball anywhere. You know what I'm saying? The pocket could be clean and you could see double coverage. You just like, I could just zip it in there. And it's the NFL, man. Cass is going to pick you off.
But shit, like we said last year, he's no Peyton Manning with the interception record for rookie year, and it's like 26 or something like that. Yeah. He only had 11 last year, so even if he gets 11 this year, I'm not going to look at that number as awful. It's a lot, you know what I mean? But it's not awful.
And it was a tell of 2 seasons for him. You got, you know, pre-injury, then post-injury. Post-injury, he didn't even throw any more interceptions after that. And if you look back at the game against the Bucs and everything, man, like he was going toe-to-toe with Tom Brady. Our defense wasn't coming up to the game.
Right.
And at that point, though, he had cleaned up a lot of his stuff. So that's where the promise kind of came in at, where everybody's feeling like, okay, you know, he threw all these interceptions. I mean, you got to think, you can attribute like 70% of his interceptions to the Patriots. And we all know how Bill Belichick does against rookie quarterbacks.
Right.
And, you know, so he threw 4 in one game and probably another 3 in another.
Well, to be continued for Zach and both Kenny Pickett, but I sure.
Yeah. I think Kenny Pickett he literally only played like a half a game so far. So we really got to get a little bit more of a sample size on Kenny Pickett. I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's like 24 years old as a rookie. And he's in a more stable situation as far as just coaching and everything else. Tomlin don't got to worry about getting fired in the next 15 years as long as he ain't just at the bottom of the tank.
Well, we're going to keep our eyes on him. You know I'm going to keep my eyes on yours especially. But I'll let you get it off because we don't know the next time the Jets going to get another one just yet.
Big Jets. Hey, Britt.
So we'll move on.
Big Jets, Britt. Yeah, I just have to, I know that was some weeks ago, but you know, hey, it is what it is.
Listen,
I was at that game, Big Jets.
I want to say something really quickly before we move on from the Jets. I just want you and the Jets fans to know, like, you guys are getting lucky, okay? I want you to feel like you have talent. I don't want you to feel good, like you got Super Bowl chances. You guys are getting lucky, and your luck will run out.
Listen, just know that.
But you can hold that L with all luck.
It's all good. It's all good.
I know that's right. Shit, I mean, I hate to put you in the line of fire, but you kind of jumped out there, Britt. What happened with the Falcons?
No, I did not jump out there. I did not jump out there. I was minding my business.
What happened with the Falcons? That's what I want to know.
You know what? I feel like I expect the Browns to do that against those teams. Like I expected them to possibly lose to the Jets, not in that particular fashion.
Right.
I got comfortable when we were up 2 touchdowns, but I'm not surprised. And I feel the same way about Atlanta. Like I was telling some of my friends that cheer for Atlanta, like, hey, I'm not even 100% sure we're going to win this game. We should win this game. Same way we should have beat the Jets.
Right.
But these are the games that I'm not 100%, sure about because of some mental breakdown that always happens with the Browns.
Listen,
Now-
Raiders is in there too, so I can't talk to
Now
you.
we'll play I think we play the Chargers this week,
Oh,
and we'll come out and win that game. Like that's the game that I expect us to lose, but that'll be the game that we come out and win.
Yeah, y'all play the Chargers at Cleveland.
Yeah, like don't be surprised if we win that game.
Is beating those
What's
Justin
call it
Herbert,
playing that game? Justin Herbert playing in that one?
Yeah,
Khalil Mack.
I haven't heard anything
Yeah.
different. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Both
haven't heard
man.
anything.
But we're
We're
getting Clowney and Myles Garrett back.
That's not enough.
Man, that's a different.
Not enough
that-
for who?
listen, that's a-
The
Because
Chargers
Jacoby-
are the Chargers
Jacoby-
are the
they got
Chargers
one of
are not as good as they should be, and I don't even know if Keenan Allen is playing.
They got one of the top secondaries. Derwin James.
They
James
defense,
Jackson.
yeah, they defense is something.
But what about that line though? Can you stop Nick Chubb?
I mean, Bosa's out, but they got Khalil Mack.
Yeah, they still got Khalil Mack. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Listen,
Nick Chubb is
like
done-
I
Nick
said,
Chubb is done.
This is the game that you would this is the game that I would expect them to lose based off of who they're playing. But this is the game that the Browns come through and somehow
I
win.
guess my question would be, can Khalil Mack do it by himself?
But
Yes.
the bigger question is, do we really think that Jacoby Brissett is going to outduel Justin Herbert?
no.
I don't at all. I don't at all. But
Hold
just to before we brush over that, my whole thing is, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Khalil Mack. You know what I mean? Ex-Raider, get your money. I'm not mad that you went to Chicago. I'm just saying that you're not still that age. Your numbers haven't been Chicago with Bosa. And I would imagine with both of them together on that line, one of the two of them's numbers would spike. Because
Khalil
now you can't hold off both of us. One of us is going to get to you.
Makes
But
me wonder if
without
it's like
Bosa, I don't know.
makes me wonder maybe it's a scheme thing. Maybe maybe they might be running a different scheme
could
than
be.
what was going on in Chicago and and with the Raiders, because I mean he had similar production with both teams because he's bowling in Chicago and he definitely
Right.
is bowling with y'all.
Right.
But
He's
I don't
had
know
5
what
sacks.
defensive scheme they're running in with the Chargers. Maybe it's taken away from what his attributes actually carry. I don't know though. I don't really study the Chargers to really look at. I can't just be like, I looked at the game film and seen XYZ, but
Right.
it definitely does seem like he went there and it was a big thing, a big splash, but you don't hear nothing about him at all. Like,
Right. I would have imagined one of the two of those players would have been like up there at this moment.
Right.
Like
Only
where-
a quarter of the way through the season, and he already has 5 sacks.
Khalil
He got
Mack.
like 2 last
Khalil Mack
Yeah,
already
3
has
last
5 sacks.
week. About 2 last week.
So,
He must just be flying
so
under the radar.
he's on pace to have
He had-
a potential 15 sack season like he did in 2015 at this rate.
Already is high.
I don't know if we can
I mean,
at this rate it.
As a whole, though, the Chargers' best win was against the Raiders, so I don't feel like we can just count the Browns out. Like I don't feel like it's going to. I don't feel like you can count the Browns out.
Who's
I
going
don't
to
think so
shut
either.
Herbert
I
down?
think the Browns play to their competition sometimes, like what you were pretty much saying. Like if they play a team that they probably should just beat, they kind of play down to that competition, and when they might rise up to the competition. I mean, I think it's really with that Browns Chargers situation. It's really gonna come down to the Chargers' run defense because Nick Chubb, man, he's on a tear. He's a monster, man. It's like, hey, I ain't seen no one stop him yet, so I don't know. But like you said, Jacoby Brissett, I think it's going to come down to more so like special teams and turnovers, like who can create the most turnovers and who can just keep it real sound on special teams as far as just field position, playing that field position game.
Well, you very rarely get turnovers from an interception standpoint with Justin Herbert.
So they still have Kyle Van Noy as well. Don't forget about him from New England on the Chargers. Kyle Van Noy is pretty good linebacker as well. He can stop the run also. So I mean, you can't count. I'm looking at their defense.
I don't know
man.
that you can though. I don't know that you can really stop Nick Chubb. I don't think Nick Chubb gets stopped. I think he gets contained somewhat. But you don't stop that man.
What's going to be the weather in Cleveland?
Nick Chubb can get stopped. And Derrick Henry's
anybody know what the weather's going to be in Cleveland? Because that weather can definitely take a pace on what the Chargers do between the East Coast West Coast time frame swing, and then if the weather is a little weird, I think Cleveland could have a lot of advantages in that aspect.
I think
because teams still don't travel that well from West Coast to East Coast.
You putting your money on Cleveland, Cliff? Bet the 5 then.
Who said I was putting my money on?
You meant to say
you
Cali?
sound like you rolling with Cleveland. Does it not sound like Cliff's rolling with Britain?
No, that was me saying that.
I hear a lot of opposing arguments against the Chargers, so I'm just saying.
That's me putting on opposing
I feel like
arguments.
you're too sure. Malcolm, you're too sure in this scenario, and I don't think it's that type of game.
Man, Chargers is going to take care of business.
I do go with the Chargers in this game, but I can't see it being closer than imagined.
5 on it out.
Browns, pick 'em.
Yeah, I think,
she said she's it now.
I think the Chargers going to do what the Chargers do. They're going to charge on, and the Browns going to do what they're going to do. They're going to get.
What does that mean?
They're going to shit themselves.
What does that mean?
The Chargers going to charge on, and the Browns
both
going to
2-2.
shit they motherfucking.
What does that mean?
Record doesn't matter. That's why my name is Player Sucks. Listen, the records don't matter right now because you got the Giants 3-1. Explain that. They have nobody. Have fucking nobody. Their team is ass.
Nobody.
What do you mean a nobody? They got somebody. They got Saquon.
Yeah, but Saquon still, it's crazy. Saquon been in the league for 6 years. He's still unproven.
I mean, to me, he's had his best start. Like
no, he has. He's come out the gates high. I will say that. But
most healthy he been in like 4 years, 3 years.
Yeah, I will say that.
That boy.
That's why he's still unproven to me. And it's not because I don't believe in your ability. It's because I don't believe in your durability. So even if you come out hot the first 4 weeks, we'll see if you continue. We'll see if you don't get hurt. And Lord forbid he does. You know that I don't want him to get hurt, but I'm saying like it's like an AD situation. I have no doubt in my mind you have the skill to be one of the greatest in the league. But can you maintain your health to make it that?
Well, Cliff, you should be able to relate. You go through it on a day-to-day basis. Body cast, arm cast, every month is a
These
update.
are late life experiences. You know what I'm saying?
I don't need none of y'all 30-something-year-olds to tell me about no late life.
Well, I'm just saying early life. It took a shotgun to do something like this. Now it's like I just fall apart just walking down the street. I'm like, ooh, my leg. I didn't step wrong off the curb. Oh, all kinds of shit.
But you are right though. You are right about Saquon.
Yeah, that's it. I love Saquon. I knew when he came out the league, I was out of college. I was excited to see him, and then seeing his career. It's like, damn, my nigga, damn. Like, I can't. You hadn't even given me enough to be a professional fan of yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually root for the Giants. Like, I want them to continue to do well.
Whoa.
He's choking. Roll the film. He's choking. Yeah, this is 8 Mile skit all over it. Giants is going to be a negative record this year. Count that.
You said a negative record.
You think the Giants are going to be a negative record?
They're 3-1.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
A losing record.
Yeah.
So here's my thing, though. I feel like this is a weird season. I think I may have put it in the group chat too. I think this is a weird season. I feel like we should have more undefeated teams, but we don't. So I feel like the talent is more mushed together. Mm-hmm. So it's really going to be who wants it more. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's going to be a clear cut. Kansas City is a for sure type thing. Like, I don't think it's going to happen that way. Mm-hmm. I mean, we like probably the two best teams right now, if you had to just argue based off of the first 4 games, are going to be the Eagles and the Jags. And who would expect
Jags?
But Eagles and the who?
Oh.
you not put no like
Jags.
seriously? Are you're not putting?
The Eagles
we're just
and the
basing it
Jags?
off the first.
Nah, bruh.
Brittany,
No.
you said the Jaguars?
Yes.
I would take Baltimore over Jaguars. I'm just saying. That's
No, I mean, well, you got to
I
factor
mean,
in.
Buffalo.
You got to
I
factor
go
in the
Buffalo.
record.
I would take like 3 teams over a lot.
I'll still take Buffalo. Even though they don't got no running game, I'll still take Buffalo.
No,
Yeah.
I
She's
mean,
not
of
necessarily
course.
speaking
Although
on what
Jaguars
we
could definitely
believe.
beat
She's
Buffalo,
talking
'cause
about.
I'm going by record.
Consistency
And,
over the last consistency over the first 4 games. Just
yes, that's what I'm
Being
saying.
able
to
Just
just
based
do
off of the
that-
first 4 games.
Like you said, you have to currently acknowledge the New York Giants as one of the best teams in the league.
I just feel like it. Yeah, these are not
Record-wise.
teams.
Right.
hmm
And that's weird. Like she said, that's very weird to even have them in a race at all, to even be considering the Jaguars in a race.
I think
It's the same thing for the Browns. That's why it
But it's
doesn't
also
have
the NFC too, so that goes to
NFC
show.
is a lot more mushed together
Right.
as well. And I think the AFC ain't shaking out like how everybody anticipated
Mm-mm.
it being either. But I this is what I was saying before, like when the season was starting. Remember, I was telling you like there's a lot of coaching changes, a lot of OCs leaving. There's a lot of things that people just look at the team and the history of the team or what they did last year. But all of these good teams were losing coaches. I mean,
It's
you
out
got to
the
think
window.
Miami got a new coach, so nobody was too sure what was going to happen with them. Buffalo lost their OC, so it was like, okay, are they going to still be the same, Buffalo? And they came out the gates, and then like nobody thought Minnesota was going to be.
I'm
what they
sorry,
doing with-
Buffalo would definitely be in the race as well. I
Yeah, that's yeah.
and the
Minnesota
Dolphins,
3-1.
and the Dolphins. So
They
to
2
me,
and 2.
but I mean, I would if you got to because who else is 3-1?
the
So I
Chiefs.
feel like you got to acknowledge the Dolphins.
Who
You
the
gotta
Who the
acknowledge-
Bills lost to besides
The
Miami?
Chiefs lost. too.
Let me
They
see.
lost to Miami. I think that was it.
I just
they
feel like
beat
you
the
got to
Ravens.
acknowledge
No, the
Dolphins.
Bills
Miami's the
lost
only one they
to,
lost
they lost to somebody before that.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold up.
Who
I
the
got
Bills
it here.
did? When did the Bills lose?
I think the Bills only lost to the Dolphins, and that was it.
I'm about to look
Because
it up.
the AFC East is
Yeah, they
3-1,
only
3-1,
got
2-2,
they only got the
1-3.
one loss to the Dolphins.
Yeah, because the
Mhm.
AFC
That's
East
right.
right now you got Buffalo
it.
with 3-1, Miami 3-1, Jets 2-2, and then New England 1-3.
Yeah.
They
You might
lost.
be
So
right.
listen, can we be in agreement at this point right now? The top teams in the league is based off of record and
Mhm.
performance: Dolphins, Bills, Eagles, and possibly the Giants and the Jags.
You can't
What
leave
about the Vikings?
Where's the Chiefs?
The
at?
Vikings aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing to me. Haven't they lost it? Aren't they
Well,
like
where's
2-2?
the-
Nah,
Where's
Vikings
the
like
Chiefs
3-1,
at?
I think.
Where's the Where's the
Vikings
Chiefs
about
at?
3-1.
I thought the Vikings lost. Hold on, I'm about to
They
check.
lost to my
They
Eagles.
probably 2 and 2.
We
Yeah, I
beat
thought
the-
they were 2-2.
I thought they were 3-1.
we
I'm
beat the
checking
Vikings.
right now.
They almost lost in London too to the Saints.
The Vikings are first.
And
in
I
the
know
NFC.
they lost. Didn't they lose to the Packers?
Saints
No,
in
no.
London.
They lost to Philly.
They beat the Packers.
They lost
I
to
think,
Philly.
I
They
think that's the
lost
only
to
one they
Philly.
lost.
Oh, okay. They 3-1. But
And they
I was
lost
gonna
to
say,
the
I just
40s.
looking
Oh,
at the
that's crazy.
standings. They 3-1.
They lost. Yeah,
Yeah, I
man,
can't help with Minnesota.
Yeah, they're not.
Kirk Cousins
I don't
ain't it.
follow them
Nah.
like yeah.
I just be, it's just like looking at the standings, man. I'm like, yo, like Minnesota 3-1, like, because it surprised me. That's why it kind of stuck out to me where I remember it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they should have lost some of those games.
yeah, they got 2 games where they won by 2 or 3 points, or like 3 or 4 points.
Jameis didn't even play that game in London. I don't even know who the quarterback was.
Andy
Taysom
Dalton.
Hill.
Andy Dalton.
Oh,
Right
It
now-
was.
Mm-hmm.
Trash. Players suck, like I said.
The
It
only
was.
teams that's 3-1 right now is Miami, Buffalo, Kansas City in the AFC. And then in the NFC, it would be, Eagles is 4-0. Cowboys, that's crazy. The NFC
3-1.
East got 2 3-1 teams and 1 4-0 team.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings is 3-1, and everybody else is either like, Packers is 3-1 as well. But everybody else is either 2-2 or 1-3.
I like the Giants. I mean, I like the 49ers though, man. Their defense is looking for real. Like the 49ers.
49ers look good. That's why I'm just saying, like, I just feel like it's like
They look good in that Packers
very-
game.
But they always look good against the Packers.
Who did they just play last?
The
They played
Rams.
the Rams.
I don't think
played
the
They
Rams.
look good.
I don't think
But
the Rams
remem-
is gonna be like what everybody think they're gonna be.
Yeah,
I
the
don't think
Rams
gonna be
aren't.
that good.
Yeah, nah. The Rams
And I
are.
don't know if Stafford. I don't know if
Odell.
it got something to do with Stafford and that arm, but I think he just gonna throw a lot of interceptions this season.
Well, listen,
They
we
might-
gonna get to that.
Offensive line is weak.
Oh
I
yeah,
actually
7 sacks.
Got something to
7
talk about
sacks?
with that, but I don't want to jump into it just right now. I ain't gonna derail the other games.
So Cleveland. So let's finish up on Cleveland. So
What about us? I thought we was done. I thought we talked about what we need to talk about.
Played terrible too.
yeah, so
Yeah,
Cleveland-
Mariota sure did.
Yeah, nah, we yeah
And Patterson went out with an injury, so I was
Yeah.
like, "What are they doing?"
got no team.
And he only rushed for
We didn't have our-
38
we didn't
yards
have our
beforehand.
We didn't have
Mario,
Miles
no,
Garrett. We
none.
didn't have Clowney. I mean, to me, they could have got in there a lot easier. I feel like they had a lot of opportunities to get in there, and they were like missing tackles on Mariota. Had we had our best two linemen, I feel like we would have been in there. It would have been a slightly different.
Right.
And they let
Tyler, you in
Tyler.
the dome.
Who was that? Tyler Algier, the running back. They let him get 84 yards.
Man,
You
Huntley came in.
You're going to get a few
Who is
yards
Huntley?
against the Browns. You're going to get a few yards against the Browns. I don't know that
Oh.
our
Man,
I don't know. I don't even know this guy. That's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
that's probably why he got his yards. Nobody knows who he is.
look up Huntley too. One of the Falcons running backs. I was like, "Who is?"
Yeah, he
Huntley?
had 56 yards too.
Everybody got yards.
Because they probably prepared for Patterson. They probably ain't prepared.
He said everybody got yards.
God damn, you got three.
Don't act like 54 yards is a lot now.
Okay,
Nah.
Four
They had 202
Well,
rushing
the play.
totals.
Off of how many attempts?
This dude wasn't supposed to play.
What
They
you
don't
mean?
play.
Huntley, 56 yards off of how many attempts did he get?
10.
That's not bad. That's 5.6.
Listen, how many
Algier had 10
Hold on.
too.
How many times have we
He did
seen
better
somebody
than
come
Hunt.
in for somebody injured and get off, and then the next game they don't get nothing off because people have seen the tape on them?
Yeah, that was just a weakling for the Browns that
No.
game though.
And I agree with you too, Britt, because the run styles are different. You know what I mean? In
Yeah.
general, their run styles are different. You know what I mean? Patterson is he's still in the Debo Samuels role to me.
Right, you prepared completely different for him as opposed to
True
traditional-
running back.
First, they
right.
got hurt in the first quarter.
pair
Right.
tape for everybody. Stop giving these niggas excuses.
Hey, first of all, Les, let me
Hey.
say something. Let me say something to you, because everybody we lose to, they come right behind us and beat y'all too. So don't think that you can just speak because they coming for y'all's ass too. You
Ain't
probably got to lose to them in 2 weeks.
Mariota
Ooh.
not coming to Baltimore and thinking he gonna like
Ooh,
Watch.
I
He
might,
gonna get
I
four
might be with
touchdowns.
Britt on this. I
He gonna
might
get
be
four
with Britt
touchdowns.
on this.
Hell no.
I think I might.
bruh, he ain't lighting shit up.
Show
I
that
think I
boy
might.
up.
I think the more y'all lose, the more y'all's what's the name?
Quarterback,
No, like your
the moxie.
your confidence, yeah, all that is dying off. Like we're seeing it die off week by week. Lamar Jackson's shoulder pads get a little bit lower towards the end of the game every week on that bench when they show him on camera. Like he's letting you know this is getting old to me. Me having to do all this, my money still being in question, it's getting old to me. You can tell he's in his mind. Like when you look at him, he's just staring off into the distance. And I know he's calculating the numbers since he manages himself. Like, well, I guess this looks bad. So I'm telling you, you're going to see him somewhere else.
I
And
mean,
to be honest, I really want Lamar to do well. Like I want him to get paid. So I'm hoping that he does well every game and y'all still lose less.
Anybody
Hey,
who
what, Chuck?
doesn't want him to do well, that's just a pure hater move because it's
Yeah.
like he hadn't given you a reason to root
I want
against
y'all
said-
to lose by a
other than
field goal
getting
every
beat.
game. Every game, lose by a field
Man.
goal.
that ain't
He
happening.
been
league.
He been doubted on ever since he was
Right.
going to
Louisville.
Louisville, man.
Right.
Well,
I've been rooting for him
Louisville,
since
Field,
then. Like,
though.
man, he remind me of Tommy Frazier. If Tommy Frazier could have made it to the league, almost.
He was supposed to be the first repeat Heisman winner since Archie Griffin until they gave it to Kyler Murray.
Yeah, because they ain't want to. Yeah, it was one of them.
Right.
But yeah,
Because
Suck
they
it.
kept doubting him. They kept doubting him.
the quarterback they ain't want.
The game, they ain't using him. Best kicker in the game, they don't use him.
This is crazy. Crazy.
I just feel Lamar is playing purely for that locker room. He ain't playing for the Ravens right now.
I get that vibe.
Because
too.
when he on the field, man, he having fun with them boys.
Right, can't quit on his team, but he over the situation.
And then he on the sideline, he look totally different when he's off the field.
true comrade.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
20. They supposed to win at 23-20. I was like, what are they doing? Not
It's
kicking,
like-
going for it on fourth down.
2 weeks.
Lamar said it's like dating a woman with kids. You might be ready to break up with the woman, but you still love the kids. What you gonna do? So you still got to be there and play. Ain't turn your back on your kids or your teammates
shit.
on this
Right.
game.
Yeah.
You know, and
I applaud how he's doing this. I think the way that he's choosing to handle it, I think a lot of players would have handled it a lot differently. They would have had an ego fit, which was, they would have been like, I ain't playing until I get my money.
Ooh, hit the showers bet.
Mm.
Hit the showers bet right now. I'm going to put it down.
Mm.
Who flips out first in the 22-23 season? Lamar Jackson or Devontae Adams?
Flipped out? I don't think.
Who do we see fall off of their character a bit and start
Lamar.
talking a little reckless?
No.
Lamar.
Leading the league.
I don't think it's gonna be Lamar because I feel like he already set the tone. Like he's like, all right, listen,
Hey.
y'all not giving me what I want.
Motherfuckers can get fed up.
Devontae with his best friend, man.
But see, Devontae never.
Living in Vegas.
I'ma go with
Vegas cooling.
If anyone, I'm going with Devontae. If anyone, I'm going with Devontae because I do feel like Lamar has a game plan, and I feel like he is mentally prepared to do what he needs to do. He said he was done talking about contracts. He's basically saying, I'm focusing on this season. Whereas I don't feel like Devontae has really gathered his thoughts in what his path is going to be. I feel like Lamar knows what his path is going to be. I'm going to ball out. Somebody is going to pay me. It's either going to be y'all or it's going to be somebody else. So I feel like he has a plan in mind, whereas I don't think Devontae has a plan in mind yet. So I'm going with Devontae.
Yeah, Lamar can't fuck up the bag. The more he talks, the more he fucks up the bag.
That's why he's been real.
I think Lamar is on a I'm going to show you mission.
Yeah, I'm going Devontae too. I was leaning Devontae even before, but...
Well, Les, I ask you this. You don't think somebody will slip Lamar the word that they'll franchise him next year instead of paying him?
So
they could do that for 2 years, actually.
Yep, twice.
No, that's not going to happen. And I'm going to tell you why. So at least the 2-year part. Now next year they franchise tag him. I don't know when I don't know. I mean, he's making $23.8 this year. I'm assuming he's going to at least make that or more next year. And if they do that again, that's like $50 million. They're not doing that.
I think he's due to make close to upwards in the high 30s or something like that if they franchise tag him. I believe it's somewhere in that manner.
Hey, Lamar worth $60 million to me. Damn it.
They don't.
So who falls off? They pivot first, as far as media interviews saying too much.
I got Lamar.
I got Adams, and the reason why is because Adams has been in the playoffs, right? He's had a proven quarterback. He's had a system that worked. Regardless, he was the best player on the team besides quarterback, and they were thriving because it wasn't always focused on him. They had Aaron Jones, right? They had Lazard. They had this person over here, that person over there. You know what I'm saying? So it was spread out. Now, with Renfro out, which I'm assuming he should be back soon, because I've seen him. He came off the he came on the out list,
right?
But he's back, right? And questionable right now. So then you got him, you got Waller. And if you run the ball, which we've seen is effective, because Jacobs went off
on his extension year as well.
snapped off. So,
Tell y'all, Jacobs run the ball, they gonna win.
bro, you're gonna go to the green pastures. But the problem is they don't want to run the ball, but they learned it works. It's effective. And yeah, he dropped 30 fantasy points. So I say Adams.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Lamar because the reason I'm going Lamar versus Adams first year in, new system, new head coach. You know, it's still gonna be like a little bit of a honeymoon phase with him and Derek Carr getting back together. And like I said, there's a lot of change with that. Whereas Lamar's already been there with the Ravens and everything else, and it becomes more of a like, oh, y'all disrespecting me, the audacity of y'all not to want to give me and the money that, you know, he probably asking for Deshaun Watson money or whatever. And he's been there for years. So I think that's where the frustration can boil over faster because of that versus, you know, Adams just being in his first year, new head coach. And, you know, it's like, okay, we're going to figure it out kind of deal.
Basically, Lamar doesn't have that. If Devontae flips out, you're not just doing it on your organization, you're doing it on your best friend as well.
Right.
Lamar's just doing it to the Ravens.
And one is motivated by money, the other one's motivated by play.
Right.
Money is always going to be a bigger motivator to make someone, you know, flip out. And it's more the history. It's like he been there like 4 years now.
5th year.
Yeah. And Devontae did a lot of big talking about Derek before the season, man.
Cause didn't all these other dudes like Josh Allen, all of them get this big old extension already?
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar Jackson didn't, and he the only one with the MVP out of all of them.
Right.
Yeah. The disrespect is something different.
I'm about to say Josh Allen was questionable for the 1 year that Mahomes took it. So actually, Josh could have already got his, but you know, and then you gave it the other one to Brady because he turned like 42, and you're like, I'm gonna give it to Brady.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Bro.
He's still the only one in that. He's still the only one in that class that, you know, because Kyler Murray came out with a year after him, right, and got an extension already.
Right.
So you know, I'm just saying situationally.
Well, this year wasn't even an extension. This was like a renegotiation.
Yeah. So you get to looking around and you feel like you got more accolades than the rest of these people that's getting all this money, and then you got Deshaun Watson that got hella money, and he's in your same division. He ain't even played yet.
Well, who y'all got real quick, Malcolm CT, and we're going to cover these.
I got Lamar.
I already gave mine.
I got Lamar. Let me go first, man. No, I got Lamar.
He said Lamar.
No, I'm going to go Lamar, man. He represented himself, but I heard Lamar don't even got no agent, man. He doing this by himself, so he want all that cash. So I'm going to go Lamar. Make sure.
Hey, Callie, I got a side question for you. So, according to NFL.com, about 2 days ago, Steelers' Minkah Fitzpatrick was quoted in reference to the Jets saying, "It's frustrating losing to people that you know that you are better than."
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
That's anybody. Malcolm stupid.
Wait, who said that? Who said that?
If you look up at the scoreboard, bro, and then if you look at the breakdown on the film, Zach Wilson was owning him in that fourth quarter. He manipulated him on every play. When he hit Garrett Wilson on that little post, that skinny post in the middle, he held him. He made him freeze up for a second because he played his eyes to the left and then just darted it over to the right on him. And that's why he was so frustrated when he tackled him. So that's why he's talking out of frustration because realistically, dude just owned you in the fourth quarter because you the robber. They playing man with a robber in the middle. And he's the one that's supposed to be breaking down and covering the little extra stuff, and he wasn't doing it. So it's like,
basically, he got exposed, Callie, and he's trying to cover.
Well, you can't say he got exposed. He got a pick 6 in that game.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when it came down to it in the end, when we went on that drive and Zach was just throwing them darts, he was the robber. They were playing man to man, and he was the person in the middle that was supposed to try to, like he's supposed to be
That's
reading
what they brought
Zach
him
at
there
that point.
for. They brought him there.
He's supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah, he was supposed to be reading Zach's eyes at that point, and Zach was just owning him. And you know, he was speaking out of frustration. It's like, oh, it's the Jets. We supposed to beat them, and that's how you lose. Like you sleep on the team and you lose.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you can say what you want about the coaching, but Robert Saleh got them playing to the last second of every game at this point.
Right. And Mark, I'm sorry, I'm old. I got bad ears. Who did you say?
Devontae.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely knew. I remember when he said that. I'm like, man, listen.
I just think
that's
Carr
just more.
Can't provide. Carr can't provide for Adams. That's the end. At the end of the day, he just cannot provide, and after a while, he's gonna get frustrated with that.
Yeah, man. I think he can, man. He's getting stupid targets. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna just start gelling.
On the little 15-yard outs and shit. That's all you saw him hit in the what's it called game. But he's not hitting him how he should be hitting him. You don't get Devontae for a 15-yard comeback for him.
Double cover, triple cover.
Yeah.
Double, triple cover. So I mean,
right.
Or they'll play 7 off, let him do his little comeback. Somebody will be underneath. They'll just jump it every time. They'll just jump it underneath. Do the guy will stunt underneath. You know what I'm saying? Bring a linebacker over and just take him out of coverage. You know, do some 4-3 shit, maybe nickel. Bring him on over.
I do think they're too smart for that, though. I think with the weapons that they have, and Carr does have a decent eye for the offense before the ball snaps. I think you get audibles out of those situations.
Well, if they rush 4. Or what if they throw 8 in the coverage and they let Carr just sit back there? You know he gonna throw like 4 picks.
Oh, you know that for a fact.
Josh Jacobs, if you start running that pill like that, man, they're gonna have to start just going one-on-one with Devontae. That's gonna only open it up even more. So.
Oh, I'm sorry for whoever this is in the chat. I don't even want to be ignorant. I don't even know what that the font is or whatever the language. So I don't know, but. When we say football, we're talking about American football. I apologize. Yeah, we're not talking about soccer.
Yeah, he's thinking of soccer.
I know he was kind of confused after a while, like, or she, I don't know, but like, what are they talking about?
So I want to know: do we believe that Geno Smith is for real, or is this just some kind of temporary hoax?
He's for real.
Yeah, I think Geno Smith is good enough. I mean, I think there's a reason why he's stuck around and always been an option. You know what I mean? Kind of like a B+, B- Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor was always good enough. He just didn't have the luck to be able to. Is that my duders? That my duders, baby. But he just ain't had the luck to start anywhere, and I feel like time passed him to where he was second rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like that's what we get out of Geno Smith a bit. He's just been around and been available, just not used as much.
Not beat up. His body ain't beat
Right.
up. You know what I'm saying? He still, you know what I'm saying? He still got something to show.
I think Geno Smith has I think he's gotten better. I actually think he's better than Tyrod. That's just my personal opinion. At this point right now, I feel like he's made adjustments. Same thing with Jacoby Brissett. Like, I can see over these past 4 games where he's made adjustments. Like the first couple games, he really wasn't throwing it to Njoku, and he really wasn't throwing it to Cooper.
Right.
And started studying. I mean, he said it himself. Study some tape, seeing how they were getting open, and look at the chemistry and the magic that he's creating with them just by adjusting. And I think Geno Smith is doing the same thing. I think he's doing a better job at getting DK Metcalf the ball. I think he had like 140 yards last game. Same thing with Tyler Lockett. Like, I feel like they're actually adjusting to the point where I think that they're a tad bit better than Tyrod.
Well,
the running game over there looked pretty nice too, in Seattle with Penny and
Todd Penny.
I can't argue that. I can't argue any of that.
yeah,
I
I'm
just
sitting
think
over
it
there
comes
watching
down
over
to
him
opportunity
watching.
too, and dumb luck. Tyrod's had a lot of dumb luck involved in his career, and it's like, damn. But when you think about the times that he did have opportunity, he never dropped the ball. The ball wasn't dropped by Tyrod.
I think
it was taken out by luck or other means. You know what I mean?
I feel like he was taken out because of his inability. Like, Tyrod is not going to go into a game. You're not going to get 4 touchdowns out of him. And I feel like that is his weakness. Like,
right.
He just was not the type of, you might get 2. Like, 2 is a good game for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll win the game for you.
I'll tell you what, real quick. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Bro, I know my duders is torturing you right now. So if you want, just hop on, give us your hit the showers, and what I do is I'll text you the pick'ems, and you can just send them back to me.
Let me unmute it real quick, yeah, because you know she over here just running amok. Hey, yeah, my hit the shower is gonna go to them damn Steelers fans. Everybody picked against the Jets. The showers, and to my girl, you can really hit the showers.
He's stupid.
She a Steelers fan, so yeah,
right. For context,
house divided, yeah, but nah, yeah, y'all enjoy y'all. I'm gonna send you my pickles, man. Good to see all y'all, but you know, she finna run the mug. That's why I have to jump on mute.
If I ever need somebody tortured or waterboarded, I'm calling Duder. You'll get my information.
Have a good one, bro.
All right,
peace.
Where were we though? I'm sorry, Britt. I interrupted you. Oh, now she's
Geno Smith. But yeah, Geno just been over there watching. Geno just been over there watching Russ and stuff these past couple years. I think that kind of helped his career, like he said. Him just being a student of the game, just being over there. You know what I'm saying? The iPad in his hand, watching plays.
Interesting point.
Yeah, and it's like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Like I said, he got weapons this time too. He ain't got no he ain't in New York where he ain't got no really good weapons. He got a DK out there and Tyler, Noah Fant at the tight end. They look like they running the ball good, and Pete Carroll's a good coach, so they should definitely be looking good for sure.
They got some moves that need to be made, some acquisitions that they need to, acquire before they're whole.
Maybe.
I agree with your overall sentiment.
Detroit scored like 30. Detroit scored like 37 on them. Yeah, defense needs some help.
Listen, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They got a long way.
Jamal Adams is hurt though, so. Jamal Adams been hurt lately though, so yeah.
They got a long way to go from the Legion of Boom days.
For sure.
But just to keep it moving, we about an hour in. We got a little bit of time. I want to just cover the rest of these games, and then I got a couple topics I think are pretty interesting, and then we off to the pick'ems. But the Raiders, I gotta bring them up. Got their first win against the Broncos. And it, like I said, it's similar to what Britt said. Like, they do play to their competition, too. That's kind of one of the reasons why I thought they would get this game, especially with a, what do you call it? With a, like a skittish, traumatized Russell Wilson in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just so skittish. He's just so nervous of what he once used to be.
Slide your camera a little to the left, bro.
Ooh, me?
Yeah. Just a little bit. You be glad.
That's because I'm looking at stuff on the other side. My table ain't big enough, and I end up leaning.
I mean, yo, where Cliff at?
It hurts to reach. Probably shouldn't be reaching.
We talking about the Raiders?
Yeah.
I just want to bring up one thing that we discussed last week. And I was asking you guys, like, have they ever give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
Yep. But while she gone, I will say I can't be upset with Russ's performance. You know what I mean? 68%, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Cars, on the other hand, once again, 61.8% completion, 188 yards, no touchdowns. At least he had no interceptions. And he had a 76.6 QBR. Russell had a 124.9. It's interesting, though, right? Because Carr looked like a game manager in that, just because of how much they were running the ball, and I think that fits him a little bit more. A game manager quarterback that can take a few risks, because he doesn't really take many anyway. So it's like, I'll give you a few free plays to call some audibles, take some risks, but these are the plays I want to happen. And like CT said, run that ball. You got Josh Jacobs. He's never giving you nothing below a 4.3 average on yards. And I don't mean as far as games go. I mean as far as like his career. There were games where he was stopped. His average was dead. But overall, give him the ball. And then you got so much confidence in the Georgia boy, rookie Zamir White. And I know he's had, touch and go injuries. He's 3 attempts for 26 yards on the season. Run the boys. You got them, run them.
Gotta win some of them games like that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Every game's not gonna be a all passing game, you know what I'm saying? Like defensive coordinators is picking up on that too, so just run it.
Especially when they know Carr can be baited into a mistake. There are certain quarterbacks that, they catch on like, I see what you doing here. And then there are certain quarterbacks that are just completely oblivious to it, and the play starts and they make the wrong pass, and it's like, and Carr's one of them. So I feel like when you have a quarterback that is questionable in his decision making, that saves you. Every time you run, it saves you a play they could have made a mistake.
For one last game, I was like, man, he did that run I wanted him to do. That I think it was like he took off on a 15-yard run, something like that. Got a first down.
Josh Jacobs. I didn't even write down his long. But I know he had 28 attempts, 144 yards, 5.1 average, 2 touchdowns, and 5 receptions.
He was eating on fantasy. I seen him.
Yeah, he gave me 32. Yeah, 32.
Yeah, every fan. Well, I'm on ESPN too. ESPN, they have a different gauge,
right.
Man. They shit's way lower than the NFL one. It's way lower. So
I'm on Yahoo.
But I tell you what, and we'll wrap up on the Raiders. And if I didn't say it for my shower heads, Raiders did best the Broncos 32-23. But there are 2 key decisions that you're gonna have to make this year and the next. And based on the Raiders' track record, I don't plan for them to make either of the decisions correctly. One, of course, does Carr stay at your QB1 spot? I do think that there is a potential that you will see him stay there even next year, just because Devontae's still there. And I feel like Devontae will have some sort of say in the situation at this time next year.
As far as what? Who his quarterback is? Or?
Yeah, as far as if Carr stays or not.
He's not going to... I don't think he would ever vote for him to go.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I think that there's a chance that Carr plays again next year as well. I would hope that Josh McDaniels says, this is my team, it's new team. Carr is the old guy. We getting rid of him and bringing somebody I trust in. I would hope that takes place. But I don't think the Raiders organization allows coaches that much leeway. And the Gruden was the first, and we saw how that ended. So the second decision that I'm not sure they'll make correct is Josh Jacobs, Zamir White. It's already been in talks that they plan on releasing Josh Jacobs because they don't want to pay him for his extension, and they plan on going with Zamir White, the younger, quote unquote, hungrier running back. And I feel like that's completely a Raiders decision because you haven't seen enough from him either. You don't have enough body of work from Zamir White to ever come to that conclusion yet. But what you do have is Josh Jacobs' stats over the past 2, and they don't look bad. They may not be what you want, but they don't look bad. I think those are the 2 concerns I have with the Raiders organization as far as decision making moving forward. In the time being, there's so many concerns I have, most of them lying on Derek Carr. But we'll move on unless somebody else has something to say about that game. I doubt it. It's a West game. Gotta have a network for that.
Right. So
watch it.
I think Russell's questionable. Actually,
you think Russell's what?
I think he's questionable as far as his injury status. I think he's actually questionable. They say
They play tomorrow. That's probably why.
Yeah. So but it is what it is. At the end of the day,
Jamal Williams. Oh my bad. You go. Go ahead, Les.
Oh no, I just don't think he got the pieces, man. He came into a new situation. He wanted to get out of Seattle, which he had a great wide receiver in Metcalf, and he got long-standing Lockett. You just don't have it, man. Jerry Judy's not his guy. What's the other guy's name? Cortland Sutton, not his guy.
That's a defense.
Oh, what did okay?
That's a corner.
Hold on, Les. What's your reasoning behind that?
Sutton's the receiver.
I'm thinking of Surtain. My fault. I'm thinking of Surtain.
Patrick Surtain. Yeah.
You right.
Let's speak on that a little bit. Why do you feel like they're not Russell's guys?
Because he doesn't. Came out of Seattle. We'll make this short and sweet. When he came out of Seattle, he had a core group that was established at that point because they took Metcalf first round. Lockett was already there, and then they had other role players as running backs, Rashad Penny, and the other guy. So they had people. They already had people, and they had people. Yeah, whatever guy's name is. They changed it. I don't keep up. But yeah. So like now you're coming to this newer team. You're the OG. Russell's the OG of the team. He's the oldest guy on the team. So now you're like, all right, I gotta lead this pack of wolves. I'm an old wolf. So it's like, bruh, what are y'all really giving me? You know what I'm saying? His line be collapsing. You don't got no time. For real. Let's be real. O-line needs to be a major component in the draft for sure. He has no line. Jerry Judy, like I've been saying, has no ankles. And yeah, and that's just what it is. So I mean, I have no faith in Denver as far as that's concerned until they address their current issues. But yeah, Raiders did what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to win, right? And they won. And I hope they keep running the fucking ball.
They need to.
I disagree with you. I think that with Les and saying that he doesn't have like a good core of receivers. I think Jude's good. I think that he just has to bring it out of them. I think they're in a system where they're used to not getting the ball like they should. I think that he does have to throw it to them a little differently than, of course, how he put it up to Lockett or DK Metcalf, because they're different style of players. But I see it slowly developing, though. It's just not happening fast. I do think it is slowly developing. Like, I see him trying to build that connection that he had with Lockett and them with Sutton based off of, like, how he puts the ball up to him. He just has to learn him a little bit better. Like, okay, I need to throw it to him like this. Like, I think it's coming. I think it's going to be there. And if they change their offensive play calling, I think they'll be all right.
How better can you put a ball to a man who catches it like this and then drops it?
I mean,
there's a lot of drop.
Everybody has one drop, though. You know what I'm saying?
And you're still getting used to your quarterback. Like the spins are different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are a professional quarterback.
Sutton's numbers are not terrible. Who has him in fantasy in you guys' league? They'll tell you his numbers are not bad. Now, Judy's numbers might not be that great, but I was expecting Sutton to kind of maybe outshine him a little bit anyway. And then they did lose. They did lose a wide receiver that I actually think is good. What's his name? Patrick?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. What, number 19?
Yeah, he's a good wide receiver as well. So to me, they're all.
And they don't have Russell as questionable, at least on the app.
I was
is done for the season.
Yeah, I was on ESPN I'm in like 3 fantasies, but it was an ESPN. Maybe it was last night. Today's Wednesday, so I'm assuming they probably cleared them.
I don't know. At least on the app.
Tomorrow, it was a short week. That's why they gotta do that.
But I think I'm still gonna start Goff over Russell, even though Russell playing Indy.
Now listen, Russell had a great week last week, fantasy wise.
Goff shitted him though.
Yeah, but Goff was probably number 1 last week out of all the QBs. So I'm just saying, don't just count him out. That's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody did better than Goff and Geno Smith last week.
Nah, they didn't. But be careful this week. Your pick'ems. Why I'm gonna tell you, because there's a lot of teams this week that I was looking at during the schedule. A lot of teams that you're expecting that notoriously are known to lose have recently been winning.
Right.
So now it's been shifting. So our point spreads, they're gonna have to get a little more tighter, or they're gonna get a little more wider. But you know, them teams, man, even Detroit been giving you issues for everybody. They giving people hell.
Right.
Even
I said that though. I told y'all that.
issues, and they're not. They almost beat the Eagles that first game. Now that shit was crazy. They was up all them points.
So we gonna this is what we gonna do. I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize, but just for the sake of time, we gonna speed through these other scores here, at least of the teams that we rock with. The Dolphins fall to the Bengals 27-15, and I do want to touch on the Tua situation in that game. But real quick,
that's my hit the showers. That's my hit the showers.
No. Real quick before we do it though, I do want to point out Bills took the Ravens by 3. I know Les is upset. That's
Garbage.
Players suck, huh?
Players fuck.
And then the Eagles did beat the Jaguars 29-21.
Down 14.
Yeah, that was an interesting game too. But just to touch on that Dolphins situation. Of course, for my shower heads who don't know, he did suffer a concussion in the second quarter, 5 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock.
Carted off the field.
Unaffiliated doctor from the Saints game, Miami, unaffiliated doctor, I should say, so I can't say Miami's doctor, has since lost his job with multiple mistakes in the medical evaluation on Tua. Some would say that led to this injury that took place against the Bengals game. And it was nothing dirty about the hit that I saw. It was just the way he fell.
Q, I didn't know that you weren't in the group chat. I tried to call you out when that happened because I told y'all last week that man needed to go sit down. I'm like, he's not ready. He was wobbly. He clearly had a concussion, and they decide to push him along anyway. That is the most dangerous thing and selfish thing that they could possibly do.
Well, who is they? Because the team is constantly
when they cleared him the previous week. They cleared him the previous week.
And okay, and do you guys realize all those layers of officials that approved him to go back and play were not affiliated with the Miami Dolphins?
Right.
Listen, to me, it doesn't matter who.
I understand you, but when your coach is on the field coaching a game and they come back and say, hey, he's cleared.
Oh, no, I'm not blaming the coach.
He has an ankle and a back injury.
Yeah, but I just felt like that was a clear lie.
I understand you guys, but me as a fan and my coach as a coach, it is what it is, man. I mean,
no, don't play with that man's life like that.
No,
it's not playing with nobody's life, but that's the information you're giving.
Right.
They put him in the tent. They put him in the tent in the Buffalo game. Whatever the situation was, maybe the clock was running down, getting close to halftime, whatever, they took him to the locker room, did further testing. Mm-hmm. And you had not one doctor, this is just one guy, but you had whatever Mike McDaniel is describing as layers of approval for him to come back on the field. That happened.
Yeah, I don't blame the coach at all. He's just getting the final word. I'm saying that someone, the guy that got fired, whoever it was that took him through the concussion protocol, they were dead wrong. They knew they were dead wrong. And they should have let that man, he should have sat out like at least a couple weeks based off of that first game. And then for him to come in and take a hit, that hit probably wouldn't have been that bad if it was some time in between. When I seen that man's hands,
he was comatose.
I mean, that's like a stroke victim. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then they're coming back giving us such.
I mean, that happens in boxing all the time. That happens in fights all the time. You see the motherfucker that gets knocked out and their hands go stiff like that, and that means that you've taken a head injury before this just happened to you.
And you know what was scary to me? It was like he took the hit, right? Or he fell, he took the hit to the head. And it looked like he wanted to take his helmet off. He was in such agony, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then his fingers started twisting up. And I'm like, oh man, they got this dude out.
Yeah, he was out there ringing.
Yeah, his
right,
life.
Yeah.
Now, I don't feel like he's going to be all right. That's the same thing that we say about AB. And he's still acting crazy. Like, I don't know that he's going to be all right unless they give him significant.
You said what, Les?
Yeah, AB is somebody else, man. That boy.
He acting crazy, ain't he?
You're right, showing his dick and shit in the food. Hey, but like I told Malk, that they baited him into that. They baited him into that. He ain't have to do that, but they definitely baited him into that situation. It almost reminded me of Dave Chappelle when he was like, "You some bitch niggas for doing this to me." When he did that joke where they was the people tried to rouse him at the restaurant and they was filming him. It was the same. I felt the exact same way when that took place. Like, you just fell for that shit. That just happened.
I don't know. AB somebody else though. But yeah. Tua, man, get healthy, bro. We want to see you on the field. I need you to help my fantasy team out. You know what I'm saying? Waddle, I need you to ball, bro. You're healthy now. You had your little week of rest. Come on, bro. Let's get back to it.
Tua will be back. He'll be back. You ain't going. I'm not going to say. Everybody's different, but usually your concussion symptoms, even with the bad one, week and a half, 2 weeks, he'll be back. He'll be back week 6, week 7.
Yeah. But I'm looking at the NFL, man. You're not just gonna fire this one guy and give him all the blame. So I'm waiting.
Yeah,
I'm waiting on the rest of the. I'm waiting on the rest of this investigation.
You are right.
I want to know.
Came from somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. I want to know what these other layers are that they talking about, because people mentioned them, and the coach even mentioned it, and he's like, "Nah," he said, "Ankle back injury."
Right.
You know, I want to know. Because somebody called that man to get back out there.
Right. If he unaffiliated, why would he need to push Tua back out on the field? Unless you got the call from somewhere and was like, well, damn, I guess it's a back injury and an ankle. He's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's how it goes with head coaches. They don't really know what's going on, especially in the midst of the game.
Well, no, I don't think it was a coach.
They just get word from,
I don't think it was a coach.
But everywhere I turn, when they talk Dolphins now, that's all they doing is blaming the organization. And I'm like, bro, lay off every single year, it's a story that these niggas want to hold on to. When we was losing, just let us lose. Stop holding on to stupid shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And this is one of those situations where, now you need to focus on the league, because there's been problems since CTE was introduced.
And my whole thing, I'm glad.
And that's the reason for the protocols. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that.
And now you guys are league-wise hiring individuals that are not taking these situations seriously.
I know I've said this on this podcast probably more than once, but I'm to a point right now where one of two things have to take place. Either you, football, have to bow your head and accept the fact that it's a dangerous sport, like boxing, like MMA, like all that, and either you want to sign up or you don't. But the rules and all this changing shit, I can see you coming out with stricter concussion protocol rules. But changing the game in itself is just making it's fucking everything up. So at some point, you have to understand, this is a dangerous sport. It's a contact sport, similar to boxing, similar to MMA, similar to head trauma shit. But you don't see them try to change the sport around, because those players understand that's what I'm getting into. But if you're not going to do that, if you're not going to just say football is what it is, it's dangerous, but these players love it and they choose to play, hands down, take the fucking pads away. That's it. Those are the only two options. Take the pads away and set it up like football, but on a rugby type thing.
Yeah, rugby.
Or shut the fuck up. I like. There's no other. Those are the only two options at this point. There's nothing else that can be done. You keep changing it, and it's not making anything better because we always talk about. Listen, I looked up NFL news for this podcast tonight. All the news was injury reports.
Yeah.
The entire article list was updates on injury reports. So if you changing the rules of the game is not protecting the players enough, you just have to say it's a dangerous game. Sign up if you want to play. Or take the pads away. Those are the only two options. I'm so sick of them trying to soften up something that can't be softened. It's like you're trying to dull a knife and then get mad when you can't cut through shit. You can't have a safe knife and still cut through shit. It doesn't work that way.
No, I agree. I definitely agree.
I don't get it. It's
frustrating. It's a dangerous sport. That's what I was saying last week. Like, we suspended Mike Evans for pushing somebody down, and people out there getting blasted.
And in hockey, you can pull a motherfucker's helmet off and swing for the fences.
You can't do it in hockey anymore either.
Oh, did they stop that?
Yeah, I haven't seen a fight in hockey in 5
Did
years.
they fight in baseball?
No, everybody gets
you're
thrown
going
out.
to get fined. Yeah, you're gonna get
But
thrown
I
out,
understand baseball the most out of any sport because a 90 to 100 mile per hour fastball coming at your head could take your life. So me in the moment may want to rush the mound. Now, hockey, you rough my goalie up. He's a pro. He should be strong enough to get over that. Let's keep it moving. Football, push downs, that happens. But baseball, I feel like you should be able to throw a few in that because that's something serious.
There's the highest I've seen this season was like 103 coming at your head.
Man, listen, you only got time to react in some instances.
I'm gonna go get the strap.
But you blink at the wrong time as that pitch is coming. It's over for you. Your wife may be feeding you vegetables through a straw for the rest of your life.
I just feel like this. Like, if we go back through the history of sports, football included, baseball, hockey, besides the extreme stuff like Myles Garrett, trying to hit somebody in the head with a helmet, where have these fights ever? What have these fights ever led to? Like, have they ever led to season-ending injuries? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm talking about the history of the game.
But they can, though, so it's a
of course line. Anything can, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, the turf can end Odell Beckham Jr.'s season. So it's like anything can, but at the end of the day, where are the stats that's like, all right, these fights cause XYZ.
Right.
I just feel like it hasn't happened, but it's like, okay, well, we don't want that in the game, but even though it's a violent game.
But I think we touched on it last week. I think that really comes down to beyond the fact of like the overall what you're saying. It comes down to the fact that there are impressionable athletes out there, and they have security to cover that if that happens at a professional game, but they can't do that at a high school game. They can't stop that. We've seen parents attack refs in Pop Warner. They don't have the capability if every player thinks it's okay to fight in football because somebody's parents gonna get pissed. My kid took the shit into the stick in that game, in that brawl, and now I'm ready to kick some kids.
Well, I think that is because of the standard nowadays of like, this isn't supposed to happen. There should be a chance.
I get what you're saying.
There should be a chance that this might happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel. Like, I'm not saying it's a part of the game, but
right.
You gotta.
I get it. I get that. I just don't like the softening of everything because it's not helping. It's not protecting the.
You know what a good analogy would be? This is what I feel. You have these violent sports like football, or these physical sports. I shouldn't call it violent. Or these physical sports like football, and it's kind of like that person that goes out in the wild and tries to hang with the bears. and then the Bears eat them. It's like, why did the Bears do that? No, you are in an environment that's what happens there. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about them trying to control the fighting and stuff like that. Like, you can control it to a minimum, to a certain extent, but
you just gave me something. And we'll move on after this for the sake of time, but you just gave me something. I think the reason that takes place, why you have so many people hanging with bears, is because back in the day, in the origination of the game, the players were selected. They were chosen. You know what I mean? They were the selected few that could endure. And then over the years, it became a household staple. So every kid has to play football. And that doesn't mean that a skilled player is built for the game. You can be the most skilled player in the NFL and be the less able to take a hit or, shit like that.
The only place where I've got to challenge that, though, because numbers in football are so far down over the last 10, 15 years at the youth level, at the high school level. Like, nobody is playing the game anymore. So that's a false argument.
Well, you know what? I feel like it'll be a false argument if in the next generation we see the same injuries. But because the numbers are down, we're getting back to the point where the select few are playing the game. The ones that are like, I'm built.
You're hitting it from both sides right now, though, in the NFL, and I'm not saying that that's the wrong move. You're hitting it from the rules side, and you're hitting it from the protocols and procedures side on healthcare. Like, you are beating it down on both ends. And so, yes, you're going to see more injuries and injury reports because they are being more strict and not letting guys play hurt the way they did 15 years ago, 20 years ago, et cetera. So the rules on top of
definitely didn't care about 25 years ago.
Listen.
Right. So that's, honestly, like, the fact that Britt walked back her statement on it being a violent sport upsets me a little bit because football was always meant to be a violent sport.
Politically correct.
I hear you, but that's part of the problem. And that's where we're at with football and where we're at with sports in general. Like, we are trying to be more politically correct, and gone are the days of the gladiators.
Right.
These are not gladiators anymore. These are professional athletes that care more about that next paycheck, endorsement deal, whatever, than they do the game. Right. And I don't fault them for that.
Right.
But that's where we're at. And that's why you see high school kids now taking out endorsement deals and college kids taking out endorsement deals before they even play a fucking snap in college.
Right. I know
because
insurance
it's about the clout. It is about the clout, and it is about the visibility. It's about that give me what I want now mentality. Nobody works for anything anymore. Nobody wants to be the best anymore. They want to be the best marketed.
Right.
They want to be that household name. They want to be.
Yeah, let's go back to.
Want to be Baker, whoever on State Farm commercials. Like, it's not the guys that, like, it pissed me off because I was watching the Bills Ravens game and I saw a fucking Josh Allen commercial like 6 times, and I'm like, Josh, I thought you were better than this. Like, I understand. Like, I want my dude to get paid, fine, but like. That's what they care more about now. They care more about getting that next endorsement deal, the next dollar, than they do about being the best at their craft. That's where Tom Brady may actually be the last of a generation.
Right.
He cares more about his craft than he does the endorsement deals. And that's not to say Tom doesn't have endorsement deals, but you don't see Tom out there doing commercials that often. Probably more in the last like 3 or 4 years.
He gotta ring out that rag. This is These are my last days.
But
he is the last of a generation when it comes to caring more about the craft, more about the game.
Right.
Like,
I think I think there'll be a few that will come along that will think that way. But what I was going to say, though, I think that it's a mixture of what you're saying, Mike, and what Cliff was saying. I feel like, you were saying the numbers were down, and that's because people are choosing not to participate in the sport or let their kids participate in the sport because of the information that has came out. But if they come out, like Cliff said, and just straight up say, this is a violent sport, these are the things that can happen to you, we will try to minimize the risk in the sense of,
Well,
it's kind of like a ref if they see that somebody's taking too many hits in the head.
So pause. Anybody here, a high school football coach that knows at the beginning of every season what we have to do? This is specific to Ohio, and I assume it's actually a national thing. I actually think it's the National Football Coaches Association.
You have to do a PowerPoint now?
No, we have to read the warning on the back of a helmet. And the back of the helmet, it flat out says this sport will basically, it says like this can cause death.
Right.
A helmet will not protect you from dying on the field.
Right.
Like it's like a cigarette warning label.
I think
like,
that's fair.
We do that. We do say that to kids. We do say that. Like we are required by law to state those things and read the warning sign on the back of the helmet. Before every season, we have to videotape it so that if we get questioned about it later on, we have video evidence showing that we read that off.
Right, right.
So we do. You do tell this.
Well, I think that's why now you get more people with the gladiator gene that are like, he's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's all right. Like, this is a family thing. The whole family's been through this. We don't have record of motherfuckers flying off the handle. He's all right. He can play. And then you got the others who are like, well, I don't know enough about it to feel comfortable letting Thomas play. Thomas probably shouldn't play.
No, I agree. And and I get where we're at with like the whole Tua situation, but I would say generally speaking, we are more quick to enact concussion protocol than there are concussions these days.
I agree with that.
And we do that at the high school level too. Like if a kid even says like anything close to I got my bell rung or my head hurts, they're out for 5 days, period. Now, occasionally it's like a hydration thing, and it's like, all right, give them a quarter, like see if it changes with like a glucose pill and water. But generally speaking, we're in protocol immediately. Cleared by a doctor.
Last point on the topic is we compared it to other, like Coach Mike said, violent sports, boxing, MMA. You look at the professional boxers, and those are fighters that started out at the child age, prepubescent fighters. You can't wait till high school football to get your kid in contact sports.
Not a lot of Americans in the professional ranks of boxing and MMA these days.
It depends on where you look. It depends on where you look.
Top tier in those sports are not American. They may claim America. They may be fighting out of somewhere in the U.S. Majority of them did not start in the U.S.
I think you're what's the word I'm looking for? Not swayed, not hypnotized, but I think you're impressioned by the MMA world.
I mean,
the boxing.
You and I pull up. You and I have watched plenty of fights over the last 3 years. Who's American?
Nobody.
I'm American.
What do you mean in boxing?
Yeah. That you and I watch, Cliff. Like when you and I pull up, when you and I get together to watch a fight, who are we watching that's American?
MMA or boxing?
Either one.
Most of them. Even the Mexican fighters are American.
Shoot, what about Haney and
yeah, like all the like it's predominantly.
You're saying wait, no. What I'm saying, Mexico, like fine, Mexicans, American. I mean USA.
That's
born and raised in the USA. This is what I'm trying to say.
What's the dude?
We don't want to play. We don't want to be violent anymore. We don't like good old America that was all about being top of the game in those fight sports, in those contact sports. That's not the case anymore.
I think that you're somewhat mistaken because there are hubs. There are hubs when it comes to at least boxing in the United States that constantly push out competition. That's why you can name damn near 5 Ohio fighters that's been going in the past 10 years. Detroit's another one. There's other
these
ones.
Elite level fighters though. That was my comment, was elite.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm. That's
Ones
what
that
I'm
we're
getting
pulling
at.
up to watch on pay-per-view.
It's
Like
almost harder for a fighter to be out of the country and be considered elite level outside of Europe.
I'm
the
just saying,
British
I don't
boxing
see a whole
scene.
bunch of stars and stripes when we put on a fight that's a pay-per-view fight.
I mean, we go no less than second in the Olympics every
I'm
run.
not the Olympics isn't the elite. That's not professional. That's not who's getting paid for shit.
Well, that's usually who rules the professional world once they transfer. Like once
That's
they go
fair.
pro, that's usually the one that takes. Floyd Mayweather got robbed. Second in silver in the Olympics, took over. Devin Haney was too young to get in there, but Shakur Stevenson now taking over. Like you look at, those are usually the people. The only ones that beat them are usually Cuba and Ukraine. Not enough Ukrainian fighters, and Cuba just isn't. They're not on the American level, I would say.
All right.
But I say that to say, when you bring your child in and say, let him play flag until he's 12 years old, then we'll give him a helmet at 13. You think that's going to prepare that child to be a professional hitter or being able to take a hit? When there's kids starting from the age of 4 in their craft, making them great, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way. So you're almost losing out on the gladiators in just going that route, and that's the route that should be gone now. Like, people look at parents like, oh, you put your kid right in contact sports, like no flag, like, and they're looking at you like you're, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. Like,
I mean, I get it. I've got personal stake in this one because I've got a kid who I think is going to be a football player.
all right.
Who shows minor interest in flag, and I'm like, you know what? I don't really care if he plays till middle school when he's ready to hit. Like,
Right.
for him though, I think it's going to be he wants that contact, he wants it, and it's like I just don't trust youth coaches.
Right.
So
No, I
the only
agree
way my son plays before middle school is if I'm coaching.
there. Right. I agree there. But we'll jump into these pick'ems. I'll save these topics, even though they were good topics. If we still have time after the pick'ems, I'll bring them up. But let's get into these because we're about an hour and a half in.
36.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's run through them. Lions Pats. Interesting game.
I got Lions by 10.
It's funny that you said that too, because I was leaning Lions as well. I don't know if I'm going 10 though. I think I'm going 6.
Because the CT, y'all still got the third string quarterback, huh? Because the first, no, Max coming back, right? Max coming back.
Mac is back, isn't he?
I think he's still showing us questionable, but I think he
might be hurt still. He might be out one more week. I'd rather go with rookie over Brian here.
Yeah. I actually, hold up. Nah, fuck Lions 3. Yeah, Lions 7.
Lions 7.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm with Malcolm on this one. Lions 7.
Mark said Lions 10. You with less.
Oh, I'm with less. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me change that.
That's why I wanted to.
We ain't never on the same page.
Right. You know, you be calling out ties and shit. I don't do that.
If you and what's the other team had a fucking tie?
I'm surprised you ain't been letting them go. You tied is tied up.
Mike, do me a favor, please. Write down the last 3 selections for me, and then we'll move on to the next. I need to run to the bathroom.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right, who's left here? I'm gonna go Pats by 3.
Really? I thought you hated them.
I do, but I don't think.
You don't think the Lions can pull
I
it
think
off?
the Patriots defense holds that game.
but what have they been holding?
Yeah.
I feel like if we keep our old state of mind, the Patriots defense holds that game, but I just don't see them holding much lately.
We holding Aaron Rodgers until we should have won that game.
You said y'all. Oh, I forgot you were a Pats fan. You said they was holding Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we took the overtime, lost by 3. It's all good though. We gonna bounce back.
What's your pick? Pats by
At 7.
I'm gonna write them down this week.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take the Pats by 4.
right. So I've got Pats by 3. We got Pats by 7 and Pats by 4. Good shit.
Lions by 7. Especially if Amon Ra comes back this week.
All right. We got everybody?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Okay. Chargers Browns.
Chargers.
Browns, I put down Chargers by 14.
Disrespectful.
Herbert about to tear them boys up.
I eat the pickle so early. I could just drop mine in the cat.
I got Chargers by 17.
Drop them in there if you
Browns by 7. Browns by 7.
Okay.
Chargers by 7.
Chargers 13.
I think it comes down to the Browns in the run game. If they can keep the ball away from the Chargers and their heavy run, they got a shot.
I'm going Chargers 10.
No, C. Is anybody with me with the Browns?
Nope, you by yourself.
Browns. Yeah, they in the dog pound for Browns 10.
Okay, all right.
Herbert. Times, man. I don't
He
know.
said Browns 10. Okay.
Word.
Oh, and Logan ain't here, but he wanted to be involved. He said Lions 3 on the first one and Chargers 10 on the second. I agree with him on that one. Next up, Steelers Bills. This should listen.
I had the Bills by 21.
I was gonna say Bills 20.
I was gonna say 28.
28. Okay.
Jesus.
Bills 20.
Bill 17.
CT, did you really want 28? CT?
Is CT the Patriots fan?
Mm-hmm. You said Bills 28? Okay. Unless you said 17.
17. Yep.
1-0 in the first quarter, so it's gonna be a blowout for sure.
I don't know what pick.
It's Tomlin and defense, man. It makes me nervous after the Bills have struggled on offense in the first half the last 2 weeks.
Who's going to stop Stephon Diggs, though? Nobody.
There is nobody that will stop Stephon, except Stephon. Stephon might hurt himself. I'm gonna go Bills by 18.
Bills 18. He said he a realist.
No, I feel like he's being a Debbie Downer. Like,
no, he's not.
You know what?
I feel like you're afraid. I feel like Mike. I feel like you're afraid.
As a
you're
Browns
the guy
fan,
that's afraid to fall in love. Like you were trying to hold back. Like you don't want to just be happy for your team and be like, "Hey, we're going to kill them."
Here's the difference between Bills fans and Browns fans. We're not fucking delusional.
Delusional. No, you're too humble.
I'm just waiting for them to disappoint me.
Yeah, like you're looking for the other shoe to drop. Like, no, just enjoy the moment. You guys are winners.
Do you remember the last year when we played the Steelers? Last year when we played
this is a completely different team. This team is not as good.
It's almost the exact same team.
Absolutely not.
Who you got?
Absolutely not.
Man,
It was legit.
Buffalo by 10.
That I think is a legit number.
I got 13.
Only 10?
I think a touchdown and 2 field goals.
Now, let me say this, though, because I always like to throw this out here. Even though I'm going for the Bills, I think they are definitely the better team.
Or a touchdown and a field
I
goal.
just feel like with the NFL, when it's games like this, and it's like so obvious who we feel is going to be the winner, like this is when
That's when
the
you get
Chiefs
shot.
lose. This is when the Chiefs lose to the Colts type deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yes, I know what you're saying.
so I'm just going to put an asterisk by it as one of those games that may not go how we think it's going to go.
No, I think that's the next game. I'll put an asterisk by it. The Q said, Dolphins Jets. I think that's this game that this happens.
Oh,
Dolphins 21.
It said Dolphins 21 or 20.
was not playing.
Right.
Huh?
what that mean?
Oh, they got Teddy Bridgewater.
I got
Okay.
Dolphins by 6.
All right, Dolphins 10.
Malk said Dolphins 6. Britt said Dolphins 10. I think I might go Jets 3.
I wish the Jets would pull this off. Oh, that would just piss me off.
Funky
Thinking
win
about
for
going to
the
less here.
funky win for the Dolphins. Dolphins by 2.
Dolphins 2, okay.
Yeah, ugly.
Dang, you
Oh,
don't
it's
think
going to be an ugly game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
I think
who y'all got running? Is it Edmonds or y'all got Mostert?
Both.
Okay. I think one
Yeah,
of
they
them is
both.
gonna go. I think one of them is gonna go off.
I'll take Dolphins. 13.
Dolphins 13.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be as what we think it is. I don't think it will.
Right.
Teddy Bridgewater there, it ain't gonna be.
Yeah, Bridgewater's not a ball like Tua, and Waddle's not about to have like 240 receiving yards. Like it's
I
not.
think
About
they're gonna get the run off. That's what I think. I think.
But-
I think y'all are. I
Good
think y'all are
point.
underestimating the
You-
Jets DBs currently.
You can say that, but Mike McDaniel had a week to prepare with Bridgewater, so it's gonna be some scheme going.
That is a
We
good
don't.
point.
We
That's a good
don't.
point.
We last game you saw a lot of Tyreek coming out of the backfield, more so.
That's a good
You
point.
know, at wide out. So
I still think he's a nerd. I'm going Jets 3. Who you got?
Dolphins.
Dolphins what, Mike?
The Dolphins by 3.
Dolphins 3.
Possible overtime. Because I think it is a sloppy game.
Y'all giving these Jets too much credit.
And who'd you say, CT? You said Dolphins 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Divisional game in New York.
Yeah.
People are hurt. Like wild cards kind of on the table.
Fans fighting in the stands.
Sam Wilson caught a touchdown pass last week. Like shit's crazy.
All right, this is an interesting one as well. Eagles Cardinals.
Eagles by 7
Cardinals. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
in Arizona.
Arizona.
Now again, this is probably a game that's not gonna go like we think. I want to say Eagles, but the Cardinals may pull it off. But I'm gonna just take the safe route. I'm gonna go with Eagles 14.
Eagles 14.
Yeah, Eagles 7, Cliff.
I got you. I'm going Eagles 6.
And I'm putting an asterisk by it because I'm not sure which game is gonna go.
Eagles 10.
Les got Eagles 10.
Now I can't remember if this was shared in our thread or if I came across it, but there was a TikTok video or like a Facebook Reels video. It basically said Kyler Murray running around in the backfield looks like a toddler. And I can't unsee it. Cardinals by 7.
Okay. Cardinals 7. Who you got, CT?
Cardinals by 3.
Cardinals 3. And then Q.
Man, I want the Eagles so bad.
I know you do, Q.
Really, really do. Cardinals by 6.
I would like to point out that Q's leading, by the way.
Still?
Yeah, he got 3 weeks. Like including ties, he got 3 weeks won. And then in second place is me and Coach Mike with 2 weeks won, with ties included. And then Mount Cali and CT got 1.
So we're not
That's
going
included.
off of overall record. We're going off of weeks 1.
We'll probably add them up at the end, but that's how I'm keeping track, at least for the time being.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just throwing that out there.
CT said
Mark
he
was
was
saying, would we use overall record? So what I'll probably end up doing at the end of the season is adding up correct answers to wrong answers, and whoever has the most on top, you know. Unless it's a clear, you know, one person takes it every week type thing. Then that's just a... Yeah. Next game, Bengals-Ravens.
Ravens by 10. Ravens by 10.
Ravens.
Man, we can't take another L. This shit.
Oh, you can't.
It's like, yeah,
20 unanswered.
2 games
Ooh.
out of 4. You did that.
I'm going Bengals 6 again. Well, I say again because I said Eagles 6 last game. I'm going Bengals 6. I think that's going to be a closer game as well. I either see a 6 or a 7. Something's telling
Ravens
me to
by
say
10.
7.
This is a get back game after dropping 20 straight points to the Bills and losing.
Ravens 10.
Lamar trying to get that contract.
Yeah, he is trying to get paid.
He can't do it on his own. Well, he can get paid on his own, but he can't do it on his own.
Going Bengals 3.
Bengals 3. That actually stood out in my mind too, but I said, nah, I see a little more than 3. I'll give him 6. After this, we got one more, and I do want to touch on one topic at least before we close out.
I'll say,
and I'll run through it quick.
Yeah, we'll do Ravens 9.
Ravens 9.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go crazy.
I'll say Ravens by 13.
Ravens 13. And who you got, Coach?
I had Ravens by 10.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And Britt, you had Ravens 10 as well?
I think I missed the last 2. The last one I did was Eagles.
Okay, so I wrote Mike's in the wrong spot. So this is Bengals Ravens at Baltimore.
Bengals Ravens. Damn.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Ravens.
Ravens
7.
Ravens 7. That works. All right, last one, Raiders Chiefs.
Chiefs by 17.
Chiefs 17.
Where is it?
This is in Kansas City.
In Kansas City. Oh, we're gonna go Chiefs. Chiefs 14.
Monday night.
Slaughterhouse.
No, I don't think it's gonna be that, but I am going with the Chiefs on this one.
Chiefs booked 10. Wow.
Wait, what? You cut up a little bit. What was that?
Oh, I said the Chiefs was putting in work against them Bucks. Chiefs 21.
But it's also a high scoring game as well.
Chiefs 21. I don't know if the Chiefs can
because
pull it.
I'm not as confident in the Chiefs offense defense if I'm being a buck. I think there is a chance for Carr to throw an air raid, especially if Renfro's back.
But that's not Carr's style.
Oh, it definitely is with high scoring quarterbacks.
400 yards, 2 picks, 1 pick.
That sounds
One
about right.
touchdown.
I would say 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and that pick 6 less it.
Yeah, for
If
sure.
it's a high scoring, offensive game, I agree with that. So yeah, with that being said, I'm going Chiefs on this one, 13.
How well do the Raiders prepare defensively? Like, do they switch up their scheme? Because my thing is, if they come into it and they shut down Travis Kelce, I think they got a good shot. Because I don't feel like he can really use his wide receivers like that. So if they got a plan where they can shut down Travis Kelce, I think the Raiders could possibly win. But that is all based on how they are willing to prepare.
Now, that's a good question. There's only 2 linebackers that would be able to guard Kelce. One of them has been questioned for their coverage ability, being Denzel Perryman from the Chargers that came over to the Raiders. He has stepped up, I will say that. The other was strong safety coming out of, not TCU. That was Trayvon Morg. It was Divine Diablo. He's an ex-strong safety, so the Raiders did bring him to that linebacker position for his coverage ability. Don't know what he does in his second year against a Travis Kelce, by no means. But I do think that the Raiders DBs are on, I won't say a high, but a confidence boost from the Broncos game, that I will say.
That ain't no.
Yeah, no, not enough to get it done. I still have Chiefs 13, but I do think it'll be a lot closer than expected. I could actually, on some ignorant shit, see the Raiders pulling it out on some very slim shit, but very small chance of that. But we got Q, Coach Mike, and CT.
Yeah, I can see it being close. Chiefs by 3.
Chiefs 3.
Yeah.
CT said Raiders 10.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Let him be the only one to get it, and that's my team.
We go Chiefs. Chiefs by 1.
Ooh, shit.
What?
It ends up being closer than people think.
Oh,
Ooh,
my.
It's weird at the end. 2
Okay.
Raiders field goals to a Chiefs touchdown.
All right. Now, before we get into the hit the showers, I do want to run through this real quick. This is very interesting. I did have another topic, but I'm not going to get into that. We'll say that for next week. But I saw on YouTube, per the channel KTO, there has been 3 insane NFL moments that have since been repeated that have happened so far this season. Number 1 on the list was Dalvin Cook recreates Mark Sanchez's butt fumble. So Mark Sanchez is no longer alone in that butt fumble. We got a high-ranking running back who's also guilty of that as well. Number 2, Jimmy G steps out the back of the end zone for a safety. Has not been done since Dan Orlovsky, 2008 Detroit Lions, and he tweeted out, "I've never been happier, freedom," in all capitals. So I thought that was fly. Last one and most interesting, Trevor Lawrence started his career 0-9 in road games before winning his 10th road game, and there's only been one other player to do so. Any guesses?
Tom Brady.
You're close.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. And the interesting thing about this stat is both got their first career road win in week 3 of their second season against the Chargers. That's very interesting there.
That's the Simpsons, like.
Right.
Right. It is kind of weird, right? Now, we got a little bit of time. Here's the last one, and this is it. And this is just to prove my point when I say Matt Stafford and Jared Goff are the same quarterback. I want y'all to understand me when I say this. So if we're looking at last week's stats, Matt Stafford against the 49ers threw 66.7% completion, 254 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, 71 QBR. Goff against the Seahawks, 66.7% completion. Now, he did throw for 378 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Now, what's the connection, you say, right? What's the connection there? Well, let's go back a year. Matt Stafford plays the 49ers, throws 68.9% completion, 337 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But Goff, that was against the Seahawks. Let's look up his numbers against the 49ers. 66.7% completion. Listen, 338 yards. 1 more yard than Matt Stafford. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Now, that's a separation of 2.2% in completion percentage and 1 yard in yards completed. Beyond that, let's go one even further. Let's go Matt Stafford against the Seahawks. 72.4% completion, which is a difference by 6.8%. 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. These are the same quarterbacks. I'm trying to tell you. I've been trying to tell you for years, and nobody's been listening to me. These are the exact same quarterbacks. And granted, even though I always say I'll take Goff, well, no, I say I'll take Goff more, and I feel like it proves my point. He's doing that with less weapons. Everywhere you look, better stats. Similar, but better. More interceptions, more touchdowns, less or similar interceptions. Same quarterback. I don't care what y'all say.
It's ironic because they both played for Detroit.
Same teams. Both same teams. And then beyond that, let's take it a step further. Top quarterbacks as of after week 4 in passing yards. Justin Herbert leads with 1,250 yards. Josh Allen is a close second with 1,222nd. Third, Jared Goff, 1,127. Fourth, Matt Ryan. It'd have been better if it was Matt Stafford with 1,125.
How the hell?
And finally, Malcolm's guy, Jalen Hurts, Philly Eagles, 1,120. He's in the top 5.
Can you run that and include touchdowns? Because there's no way Matt Ryan.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, that's just yards. Yeah, no, I would have to. I can have that by next episode.
Yeah, I can't respect what Matt Ryan is doing right now.
No, I can't either. That's why I thought that was funny. But yeah, no, that's all I had to say about that whole situation. I just wanted to point that out so people can understand exactly why I say these niggas are the same motherfucker. It's almost an NFL conspiracy. One of them cloned the other, and they just named them different. But lastly, before we hit the showers, before we announce our hit the showers, I would like to shout out and announce Washington Commanders designate running back Brian Robinson to return to practice 1 month after his shooting incident. So there's still a chance that he will start the remainder of the season for Washington. That I hope does take place.
Is he supposed to start over Gibson?
Yeah, they said that he was the favorite before the incident happened where he got shot in the knee in an attempted robbery.
Where'd he get robbed at?
Washington, D.C.
Damn, he must have been Baltimore. Cause hell no.
Yeah, it was attempted robbery. He got shot in the knee, and I think I don't know, something with his hip as well. I don't know if he got shot twice or the bullet bounced. I don't know but they had it listed as a knee hip injury.
Yeah, he got shot in Maryland. DC is a loaded zone of security. I wouldn't. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but it's all in the same area. But yeah, that's all I have for real. So let's run with our hit the showers, and then we out this thing.
Hit the Baltimore. 2 losses. You was up at the half each time. What the fuck is going on? Players fucking suck.
What? You turning on your team?
Listen, I was wondering where the players suck snipe came from.
Man, who is this? Every week you get in there and get to,
It's
now.
Baltimore thing. This hit the showers is for the NFL, the no fun league. Like, yo,
I don't know who this is.
nah, y'all don't perform. They get their first bag. Once they get past the contract extension, they motherfuckers fall off. It's like, all right, let me get my first real bag, and then I'm done. All right, I'm good. I'm gonna just be lazy. I got COVID. I got monkeypox. I got shot in the foot. Myles Garrett. I'm crashing whips, bro. Come on, man. Like, y'all doing anything? What's your cousin's name from Raiders? I'm gonna just speed around, go
Henry
a buck.
Ruggs.
I'm gonna go $120 and kill somebody. Like, yo, what's up with y'all, man?
Hey, leave that. Let's stop talking about dark days.
Nah, what's up with this? Players fucking suck. Y'all fucking suck. Y'all make all this bread that can change motherfuckers' lives, and y'all fuck up the opportunity. There's people that's not in the NFL that are way better than niggas that's in the NFL. Y'all niggas fucking suck.
I agree with that.
And you named so many people in that. Who was your hit this hour?
It's Baltimore.
Yeah,
It's players fucking
Baltimore.
suck.
Okay. Oh, the players in general, but Baltimore is an honorable mention, or how does that work?
Man, you know y'all gonna lose this week.
Baltimore and players fucking suck. That's my hit the showers, man. Players step your fucking shit up.
All right, listen. I got 2 hit the showers. You want me to give them now, or should I wait?
I'll give my hit the showers. We already.
Okay.
I told you guys my hit the showers were
Oh
whoever
yeah,
within the Dolphins organization that gave the go ahead
the unaffiliated MD.
for Tua to play. I feel like this. I feel like I don't know how you want to put it, but the powers that be, I feel like they're playing with us when it comes to Tua. I just felt like what I seen was a bit much, and I worry about his health. And one of the articles that I seen this week was, Tua is going to be okay because there was no structural damage. And I just feel like even in that headline, I still feel like they're playing with the public as if you have to have structural damage.
Right.
That's the only type of damage that you can have.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, no, if you have dead brain cells,
right.
that's going to hinder you as well to the point where you can't play or function like a normal adult. So I just feel like the wordplay and how they're trying to do us with Tua, I think whoever is, behind that at the end of the day needs to hit the showers, because I still feel like they're trying to downplay his injury.
I can understand
the
that.
NFL, because they have the facts.
Yeah,
they have the facts, man.
I can understand that as well, but all they can do is judge structure. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's not true. That's not true. It's kind of like if you don't get oxygen to the brain, right?
Right.
You can do a scan and they can tell you, okay, everything is going to still be in place,
right,
structurally, but at the same time,
but they don't know how many brain cells are dead and how many still popping.
I mean,
they can just tell you that there's damage to the brain, but they
can tell you a percentage. They can tell you a percentage, like, hey, 10% of you have 10% dead brain cells, like
right, based on imaging though. Like I still feel like
So you're saying that he hasn't had any imaging? I just
feel like that falls into structural. At least, unless what you're saying is they're trying to, create spells with the wordplay that they're using. But I would imagine that the percentage of damage they saw in that ultrasound, MRI, or whatever the case may be, I would imagine that to be structural.
No, like structural, like for example, I'm thinking structural
Your
is
brain
like
still shaped
if
the
your
same
brain
way?
if your brain stem is still intact, there's no way for them to they won't declare you brain dead unless your brain stem is not intact anymore. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you have that
You don't have
your brain
damage,
is fully
right.
functioning. So it's like, to me, it's like, all right, if you don't see any type of like physical changes to the brain, or you know what I'm saying, I shouldn't say physical, like
I know what you mean though. I know what you're saying.
hard physical evidence of damage, you're basically saying like he's okay. I don't think he's okay. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't like how they're trying to spin it.
Right. No,
So
I
that's
agree with
my
that.
hit the shower. That's my hit the shower.
Listen, I feel like they should hit him. I'm sure they did hit him. I'm sure they cried in him after they got that call saying that you ain't employed here no longer.
He probably had money on the game. That's the only thing I can think of.
Listen,
Probably
right.
had a few dollars on the game. I need to get my dollars. Let me go in there and play to it.
Anybody else? Before I drop these bombs I got.
I'm going Baker Mayfield.
Ooh, that's interesting. Why would you say that?
Because man ain't shit, ain't gonna be shit, still ain't shit. They keep giving him opportunities, and
you ain't shit.
Said your genetic makeup ain't shit. You ain't shit.
Listen, I was looking at his stats today, and to be honest with you, he's literally doing what he did last year, but he can't use the excuse of I'm injured.
Right.
Yeah.
He is not hitting the people he needs to hit. How do you not hit Christian McCaffrey? He right there. It ain't even like he going down the field. He right there. He can't hit him. I know he's super frustrated. You should have put him on that list of between Devontae Adams and
Baker can't go off on his organization. The only thing he can do is implode on himself.
No, I'm saying you should have put McCaffrey on the list.
Oh,
because I feel like he gonna have something to say.
I'll put that down by McCaffrey
by the end of the season. I've never seen. I mean, if you watch the games, even that first one against the Browns, I've never seen somebody not use their weapons. Now, this just goes into, and you know how I feel about Baker, so I can go on all day. This just goes into he plays from his ego. But his ego and his talent don't match.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to be the one to save the day. He wants to be the one that is the game changer or the major factor. And he is completely ignoring the talent that he has and that will get him the win.
Right.
No reason to have a 7.4 QBR. No reason.
Yeah, and you're not injured, and your shoulder's already been operated on, and everything's already been taken care of.
We're 4 games in. We're going into game 5, and he still has yet to score more than 1 touchdown in a game. This is this is what he was doing last year. He could not. There were only a few games where he had 2 touchdowns.
Never mind. I was about to say Carr got 2 in the Titans game. I was about to say Carr may be in that boat. We've been saying Baker and Carr. Carr got 2 in the Titans game.
Carr is a little bit better than Baker. You know what I'm saying?
I would say that.
Carr is a little bit better than Baker.
I don't know. It may be by a hair, by a mustache, by a whisker.
I wouldn't be surprised if this game coming up when you guys play the Chiefs, if Carr had 2 or 3 touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't either. But he might. If he
but
gets to
Baker's
3, he only has 2 interceptions. But if he only has 2 touchdowns, he matches him in interceptions. I feel like that's factual dealing with Carr.
But like with Baker, there's no way. I don't even know who they're playing. Like, who are they playing?
They're playing the Chargers.
The Chargers?
No, we're talking about Carolina. I can't remember off of.
Well, whoever they're playing, I guarantee you.
They got the 49ers.
49ers. Oh, that's a problem.
Oh, they're playing the 49ers? Okay, that's not I was going to say he won't have more than 2 touchdowns, but
he's definitely not going against the 49ers.
He's not going to, that's a good defense. So
Free pick of the day. Bet on the 49ers.
Listen, now you might have to bet 600 to get one, but I feel like that's a guarantee. The fuck? But
I'm happy you dug that up because Baker is definitely
playing trash.
I mean, I think that only the people. I mean, if you weren't a Browns fan, if you're a Browns fan, you already knew this is how
you were rooting for him to be bad anyway.
No,
Yeah, you
no, I'm not.
Yeah, you was.
I'm not rooting for him to be bad. I wanted him to lose to us. At this point, I don't care. But he's playing like he's doing what we thought he would do. Like no one can say the Browns were wrong. Like no, this is what we expected out of him, and this is what I was saying all last season. Like no, man, this dude is trash.
Yeah, listen. Well, bring it on to my hit the showers. I'm gonna hit you with a rapid fire. First one goes to Derek Carr. You're not shit, and there's nothing worse than being not shit and bringing your best friend on to be not shit with you. He just didn't want to go down alone, so he pulled Devontae Adams down by the fucking 2-strand twist.
Introduced him to crack cocaine.
And pulled him down with him. That is my hit the showers, along with Jizzy from the block. The Antonio Brown picture came out, and I do agree with Shannon Sharp. You keep a man's family and children out of it, unless the picture does show you she's from the block. Then he did you a favor, Mr. Thomas Brady. That man did you a favor. I don't care what you say, because everybody looked at it and they all said the same thing. Something don't look right about that. And we all know that Antonio Brown lived with Tom Brady at the start of the season when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, then that's shady on his part.
Yeah, shady on Antonio Brown's part, of course. Yeah. But at the same time, maybe he's trying to
it's disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful. But what's even more disrespectful, gazing longingly into your African American roommate's eyes. Like what's more wrong? Like, of course I'm mad you were my guy and you knocked off my wife, allegedly. Or am I more mad that you were my wife and you knocked off my guy?
Both.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. Here, I'm more mad. I would be more mad at
and that's alleged
AD because he extended, like he didn't have to do what he did. He didn't have to bring him in. People were already kind of writing him off.
But he wanted a Super Bowl, and AB provided. So is that the trade-off?
Part of it. He was part of it.
Is that the trade-off? Listen, you bring me a Super Bowl, my G, you can have whatever you want.
Whoa.
No. I think that's disrespectful. When somebody extends themselves...
CT stupid.
When somebody extends themselves like that, you don't repay them in that way.
No, I agree. I agree.
You just don't repay them in that way.
I agree.
So I feel like, of course, Tom should be able to, should be mad at everybody. But and then you wait to this particular time to say something. So to me, it's just whack. I'm not
for the shower heads. It's not like he came out and said he knocked off Giselle. But I'm saying there's a picture out there. You can Google it, and you can be the judge yourself. I'm just saying that look, that hug, that looked a little too intimate.
No, listen, you gotta think of it like this. If he was staying at the house, right? They probably got a chance to eat breakfast together every day. So there is some type of relationship there. So when in this happy time, when you hopping around and it's a celebration and you hugging everybody, you hugging the owner, you hugging everybody. So of course, if I've been with this person for months you know, they've been staying at my house. I see them. I'm gonna give you a hug too, because I'm happy for you.
Or maybe you know that there's gonna be a parade on the block at Tampa Bay, and I'm ready to hit that motherfucker. Cause Jizzy's for the block. Hit the showers.
I hit the showers.
You've been trying to push this narrative since the start of this season.
I hit the showers goes to the Rams because they are just awful right
Brady,
now.
get you a strong black woman.
Mm.
That would be hilarious. So
You fucked the game up with that one.
Listen, everybody be a TB12 fan. You can see niggas everywhere with a Brady jersey on or burning it.
One of the two.
I rock the TB12, but it had to be the Martin Luther King edition after he got with his strong black woman and released it to Nike on the Colin Kaepernick campaign. Who else? CT, who should hit the showers?
I'm gonna go with the NFL, like they were saying earlier, man. It's soft right now, man. A lot of injury reports, man. It's just it ain't gonna never be the same again. So that's what I'm going with. Hit the showers, man. The league, man. Protocols, all that.
I don't know. History repeats itself. I think that eventually we do have, like I said, hopefully now the fact that parents are limiting the kids' playtime or contact sport shit, I feel like hopefully in the next 20 years when we start seeing these players go pro, we get the Iron Men again. The motherfuckers that are like, nah, I don't care about the pay. I'm going both ways. Put me on defense, coach. We need to stop. I'm going in. And I do think that the kids, although they're being babied by the sport, they're working harder than they ever have. There's more football camps open, and they start you at a younger age than they ever have before. They may not put you in pads in there, but they're getting you ready for the, you know, the fundamentals of it. And I think that translates. You're going to see kids come out ready to work because I've been doing it my whole life. This is all I know.
Especially the athletes' kids, you know, they try to make their kids be like especially them. So especially those kids like the athletes from like the Ray Lewis era and stuff, man. I know they taught their kids to be hard. Like I don't know. Now the league is so soft. So
no, I agree.
Like they said, there's no gladiators no more in the league. Won't be no more.
Won't be no more for a while. I'm hoping we do get some. I know we'll get some, but hopefully just like it gets back to a lot of them. Half the season, half of the players are gladiators. That's what I would like to see. So we got 20 years to find out. God willing, we still doing hit the showers and we making a lot of money by then. Speak it.
Yeah.
Speak it, believe it, receive it, motherfuckers. We'll catch y'all next week, Wednesday. We actually got basketball starting up, as well as some fights coming up. So we will start the Saturday shows. Everybody involved, y'all are more than welcome, of course. We'll start those back up. But for now, we'll catch y'all next Wednesday. Same time, same place. Clean pair of drawers and a nice seat in the house. And get ready to drink and kick it with your favorite podcast hosts. We'll see y'all next time. Be good or be good at it. We out.
Deuces, let's go back. Let's go.
White lives matter. Like Kanye said.